Like it or not, it's Riddler's game now.
I've always loved little puzzles.
The hell are you supposed to be?
Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Vengeance!
You're becoming quite a celebrity.
Boy, you're everything they say, ain't you?
Don't you ever just say hello?
This is your legacy, Bruce Wayne.
I'm here to unmask the truth.
Oh, this guy's hilarious.
Whoa! I got you!
Come on, Vengeance. Who are you under there? Are you just hideously scarred?
Yeah.
The Batman.
Riddler's asking for you.
This is by far the most major adversary he's come across.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you? I've been trying to reach you. You're part of this too. Bruce.
The Riddler seems to know secrets about Batman that even Bruce didn't know.
How am I part of this? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were. Dear God.
It's Gotham in a way that I haven't seen before. Gordon reaches out to Batman, I think, out of a level of desperation.
Unbelievable breaking news. Gotham mayor was murdered last night.
We have a villain in the Riddler who's all about clues.
And also, the Riddler is addressing everything directly to Batman.
Any of this mean anything to you? You're pretty good at that.
Catwoman meets Batman, who's looking for a serial killer in Gotham.
You a new friend of yours?
I'm not so sure.
They're both people who fight for what they believe in. They aren't afraid to die for what they believe in.
What's black and blue and dead all over you?
He wants to end up punishing the Riddler because he's being a mirror to Bruce's secrets.
Riddler's latest. It's all about the Waynes.
All these years, you lied to me, Alfred.
I'm just here to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city.
Maybe this is all coming to an end.
Hey, Vengeance!
We all have our scars, Bruce.
Welcome back, everyone. This would be my new Batman trailer video. There's a whole bunch of new footage, Easter eggs to break down. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson have also been talking about the sequel, Mr. Freeze, The Court of Owls. I'll explain what's going on with them inside the new universe of Batman movies that Matt Reeves is creating.
Freeze! That's Mr. Freeze to you.
Batman Into the Batverse with all these different versions across the multiverse. If you're brand new to the channel, I'll be doing a bunch of videos for the movie. I'm supposed to see it a couple days early. I think I'm allowed to post my review at the end of the month, so look out for that too. But I'll start with the brand new footage, then I'll talk about Mr. Freeze, and then I'll talk about the Court of Owls, because everybody's been talking about the Court of Owls since they dropped the first teaser trailer for this movie. Like, are they going to be doing the Court of Owls in this universe? Based on what Robert Pattinson is saying, odds are pretty good. But I love the way they open this new footage with the Vengeance montage. Like, every new Batman villain, when they see him, is going to turn it into a meme now. Vengeance? 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 And even though the Riddler is meant to be the main villain of this first movie, you see a ton of the Penguin character in this. The way Matt Reeves described the Penguin story during the movie is that he said it's sort of an origin story for his character, just like it's an origin story for Catwoman as well. Some of you may have figured this out, but Penguin in this movie is a low-ranking member of the Carmine Falcone crime family. In the Batman HBO spin-off series that they're doing for Colin Farrell's Penguin character in the next year or two is actually going to be a little bit like Scarface inside the DC universe.
Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you, Tommy?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
I believe the club that he's running in the movie is a version of the Iceberg Lounge, though, from the comics. For those of you that have been asking about Carmine Falcone, too, because he's such a big character during Batman the Long Halloween, and there's so much of this movie that borrows from that storyline, we finally get some more Carmine Falcone footage tying him to Thomas Wayne. In the context of the Long Halloween, Carmine Falcone has history with the Waynes. Thomas Wayne, who's a doctor, saved Carmine Falcone's life a long time ago and became indebted to him, so it sort of brought him closer to the Waynes. And because the Waynes are billionaires, because they've been so wealthy for so many generations, in the present day of the story, he's trying to get Bruce Wayne, who he does not know as Batman, to put his money in mob-controlled banks. And obviously, Bruce Wayne doesn't want to have anything to do with him. But that's what the Riddler's clue here means when he scribbled sins of the father on this here. It just means that Thomas Wayne got caught up with the mob in Gotham City, Carmine Falcone. The Riddler's big thing in Gotham is that he's trying to expose all the most corrupt, powerful people in the city. Him killing the mayor at the beginning of the film sort of sets that off. And the funny thing about that other clip where Robert Pattinson is saying that the Riddler is revealing things to Batman, like he's leaving messages directly to Batman, revealing things about his past that even Batman didn't know about his past. That clip actually came from a Little Caesars pizza featurette. Like Little Caesars did an integration with the movie. You can actually see their ad in the background here of this sort of Times Square version of Gotham City. Hopefully those many millions of dollars they spent to get that ad in there was worth it for them. Most of these are just random businesses. There are a couple other Easter eggs in here in all of these advertisements. This whole anti-drug ad that you see all over this scene here where it says stop the drops with this line through it, it's sort of like their version of Dare in universe. In the context of the movie in present day, the drops are supposed to be this new designer drug that's being circulated around Gotham, maybe by the mob, maybe by Carmine Falcone, but they're supposed to be really, really bad. So I think they're part of the corruption that the Riddler's trying to expose. Like these really powerful people are behind the drops in Gotham. When they're investigating the mayor's murder at the beginning of the film, you see this broadcast where this reporter is talking about the mayor's murder and likening it to the murder of Thomas and Martha Wayne. These people in this broadcast aren't meant to be Thomas, Martha Wayne, and Bruce Wayne. That's the mayor, his wife, and his son, the little kid from the funeral scene that I posted a couple weeks ago. I'll link that below in the description. They posted almost the entire clip of the funeral scene with the Riddler attacking in his next big clue involving Gil Colson, who's one of the other corrupt, powerful people in Gotham that the Riddler targets. Gil Colson is the district attorney who's just this really, really terrible person. The whole idea being that the Riddler creates these traps, these riddles that Batman has to solve in order to try and save the people. But it sounds like most of them wind up dying, especially early on in the film. For those of you that are hoping to see a version of Two-Face show up in these movies, my early theory is that they kill Gil Colson off so the city needs a new district attorney, and that new district attorney winds up being Harvey Dent. And maybe they do his origin story in one of the Batman sequels. Then I think all the details about his past that the Riddler is showing to Batman that he's learning about for the first time are all about the Gotham City orphanage in their childhood together. I talked about this in my previous trailer videos. It seems like based on the evidence that the Riddler is giving Batman, he grew up inside the Gotham City orphanage and something terrible happened to them, and he blames Thomas and Martha Wayne for whatever happened, but Bruce was around for a lot of that. Like at some point, he and the Riddler were childhood friends. And because his whole thing is solving riddles, he has solved the riddle of Batman's secret identity. Like he's figured out that it is Bruce Wayne, and because he knew Bruce Wayne as a child, that's why he's sort of taunting him with all these details about his childhood. But just talking about Mr. Freeze and the Court of Owls, so you may have heard Matt Reeves talking about Mr. Freeze, basically saying that he is going to be the main villain of the sequel to the Batman movie.
The monster who took you from me will soon learn that revenge is a dish best served cold.
He did say that he was going to take a break before he started working on the sequel movie, so it'll probably be 3 years before it comes out. Right now, their plan is to do the Batman HBO spin-off series right after the Batman movie. Like, he'll start working on that right away. He's got 2 series already with a couple other spin-offs in the works. Most of those will be HBO series. We know about the Colin Farrell Penguin HBO series, and then there's a Gotham City one with Gordon being one of the main characters. It'll be kind of like the Peacemaker series coming after the Suicide Squad movie, with like all the movie characters coming back. It's like their version of the Marvel Disney Plus series, except with Batman. Robert Pattinson was the one that was talking about doing Court of Owls as one of the big villains in the sequel movies. During the very first teaser trailer a couple years ago, it seems like it's been a couple years since that very first trailer, most of us were picking up a lot of Court of Owl vibes, but it sounds like they don't really get into that during this first movie, so I think they'll save a lot of that for maybe the second or the third film. If Mr. Freeze is going to be the big villain of the second film, it sounds like they'll just continue doing more origin stories for Batman's rogues gallery of villains, like the really big villains, and then maybe in the final film, they'll do Court of Owls as the main villain. I actually think that's a pretty smart thing to do because most people think the Joker would always be the biggest Batman villain, but they've done the Joker so many times. Making the Court of Owls the main villain just pushes into new territory. You can still do the Joker as a big villain in the Matt Reeves Batman universe, but it allows you to do him in a very different way than you've seen before. So everybody post all your Mr. Freeze and your Court of Owls theories in the comments below if they're planning on doing those in the sequel movies. They could actually legit do the Court of Owls as a full-on HBO series. Either way, if you're a big Batman fan, you're going to be eating good for the next several years. There's going to be so much Batman going around between Michael Keaton's Batman, Ben Affleck's Batman in the Flash movie, and then obviously all the Robert Pattinson Batman stuff that's going on. Like I said, my review video should be posting next week. Look out for that. Make sure you enable alerts so you don't miss it. My full Easter eggs, breakdown videos, any post-credit scenes, that stuff will start posting after the movie comes out at the end of next week. Everyone click here for my Peacemaker Justice League deleted scene video with Batman, and click here for my brand new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.